With the year flying by and a third of it nearly gone, who are the best and worst performing stock market indexes of 2022? Who are the good, the bad, the ugly? Are there themes and trends that we're starting to see with a third of the year in the bag? Well, why don't we take a look? So get the magnifying glasses out. This is my list. You can see it starts from 2022 and I've done it on a percentage return basis. I've tried to find as many stock markets from around the world that I could with data for them so I could compile this list. Now, what can we see? Who are the worst markets of the year so far? So our bottom five, well, in first place at the bottom is the Russian stock market, down just over 30 odd percent, quickly followed by a Chinese index. That's the SZSE composite index, down 28%. Then in third place there, HNX index, that's actually the Vietnam stock market, down nearly 25%. Then we've got a major US index, the NASDAQ 100, down nearly 20%, and just above that, down nearly 19.5% is the Austrian stock market. So that's the bottom five. But then just above that, if we're still focusing on the losers so far of the year, we've got Polish, Chinese, US, some more Chinese, and some of those big European markets, the EU50, the DAX. So it's an interesting bunch there. But generally though, not a great performance from those guys so far in the first third of 2022. So let's move on to the winners of the year so far. So some of these stock markets might come as a surprise to you, but in first place is the Turkish stock market, up 30%, and that's followed in second place, just under 15%, that's the Indonesian stock market. Then we have the Portuguese stock market, up just over 5%. Then the Norwegian stock market, just over 4%. And closely behind that, we have the Brazilian stock market. So a really interesting mix, in that top five there. The biggest stock exchange close to them, well, that's the FTSE 100 over in the UK, up just over 0.5%. So why don't we now dive into specific regions around the world to see how they have been performing? So taking a look at the US markets then, the biggest stock exchanges on the planet, the worst offender this year, it's the NASDAQ 100, that tech-heavy laden stock market, down, over 20%, not doing particularly well. Best performer, Dow Jones index, with the more solid, more traditional, firmer corporations, down just over 8%. So not a great start to the year so far for the US stock markets. So what's been going on in Europe? Well, I've left on that black line in the middle there as a sort of marker for the others. That's the S&P 500 from the States. Now, we've already discussed the worst performer. That's the Russian stock market. And that's followed by the Austrian and the Polish. So there's that sort of Eastern sort of European theme going on there, probably due to the war in Ukraine. Now, the best performers, that's the Norwegian stock market, up over 4%, followed by the UK FTSE 100. And maybe that's more because of the rise in the price of oil. Both of those country stock markets heavily influenced by energy products. And the rest, really, mainland Europe, some of those big guys, bit disappointing really for the German, French, main European markets. So then into Asia, and the theme is obvious here, it's all China to the downside. We've got the SZSE like we talked about, the China 50 index, then we've got the Hang Seng above that in the bottom three places. Then follows South Korea, Singapore and Japan. Best performer out there, well, that's the Indonesian stock market, or a long way ahead of the rest. So what conclusions can we draw from all this then? Well, the obvious one is the big two, the US and China, both struggling at the moment. Russia, for obvious reasons, down there, bringing some of those Eastern European countries down with them. Interestingly, the emerging market type countries doing particularly well. Indonesia, Turkey, you know, there is a super strong dollar around at the moment that might be influencing things, and the economic, you know, uncertainty, imbalance around the globe at the moment, maybe just helping some of those other stock markets globally. So an interesting list. I wonder what it'll look like, you know, once the next third has completed. Maybe I'll come back and do a review then. So let me know what you think of today's video. Any comments, thoughts, anything you'd like to add to the analysis. You know, what do you think of the best and the worst? Where will they end up at the end of the year? Love to hear from you in those comments. Well, if you've liked today's video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell buttons, and all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching. Good luck with the trading. I'll see you in the next video.